Hey, welcome to episode 119 of the Health with Hashimoto's podcast. This episode is coming out on Halloween, and Halloween kicks off this season of sugar. I feel like from pre-Halloween, where all of the candy is already on sale, until New Year's, we are bombarded with so much sugar, whether it's candy for Halloween or pies for Thanksgiving or everything for Christmas. I feel like there's so much sugar. Do you feel that way too? So today I will be talking to you, and then hopefully you will be carrying on this conversation back in our new community. I will be talking to you about navigating this season of treats while supporting your autoimmune health, because we're not going to go full restriction. We want to enjoy the life that we have. We want to be able to live this life. We want to be able to participate, to have community, to enjoy this time. We're not going to just opt out from the entire season and all of the holidays. No, that would be bad too. So I'm going to talk to you about how we can navigate this season. And then hopefully you will come over to school.com, SKOOL.com, and join us over there. So it's the Health with Hashimoto's community. So School, like I talked about last week, School is this community. It's a group of so many communities. They are hoping to build this platform to 1 billion users. So you think about how Facebook was at the beginning, where it was much more a community feeling, and how forums were before that, where you really got to know people and you got to have these honest conversations and you got to direct what you wanted to see instead of the algorithm controlling it. And then your feed is bombarded with ads. There have been times when I'm scrolling my Facebook feed or my Instagram feed and I count every other thing that I see is an ad. My sister was on the other day and she said she had 5 ads in a row instead of seeing what her friends were posting. And that's ridiculous. So that's why I'm so excited about School and the community that we're building over there. We do have 27 members in our first week. I'm so excited about that. People are getting to know each other, sharing questions, sharing resources. This is awesome. Come over and join us and listen to last week's episode if you want more details on why it's so good. Let's talk about sugar. And like I said, we are going to focus on enjoying this season without compromising your health. So first, the big question, why are sweets bad? Well, this can go in actually a couple different directions. Number one, if you are sensitive to gluten, a lot of the treats, especially, pies and baked goods, they have gluten, and then that's going to be inflammatory for everybody. But especially if you are gluten sensitive, it could be a trigger for your Hashimoto's. There's a couple different episodes about, where I talk about diet and I talk about gluten. Another track that we could go down for this conversation about sugar and treats is just sugar itself is inflammatory, and inflammation drives autoimmune problems. When our bodies get inflamed, the immune system kind of goes haywire. And what is a haywire immune system? It becomes an autoimmune disease. And we, of course, do not want that. We want to help our inflammation calm down. So sugar itself can cause inflammation, gluten, or anything else that you're sensitive to. Of course, there's also, with sugar, there is a direct competition for space in your body and on your cells. Sugar kind of turns off your white blood cells for a set amount of time. And this is information that I've had for, 10 or 15 years. So I can't remember the exact number, but I do know that the more sugar you eat, the longer it fights for that space and it beats out the white blood cells. The white blood cells are your fighter cells. They are the ones who go out and seek and destroy anything that's interrupting the body. So when you have sugar, then you do not have a working immune system for a set amount of time. It's not for good, but this is why we don't want to have sugar at breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, supper, bedtime snack, because you're basically turning off your immune system for that whole time, at least the white blood cell portion of that. So there's that part of sugar. There is also the artificial ingredients, the dyes, all of the preservatives, things like that. There are so many things in our food that we would be better off to avoid if at all possible. The goal, of course, is to give our body what it needs to support our health, but not just our physical health. We want to support everything. So that means supporting our spiritual health. That means supporting our environmental health. And part of those two things is community. When you were, set in this world, when you were given to your mom, put in your mom's womb, and then you were born into a family and into a community. Community is part of our spiritual health. It's obviously not the entire spiritual health. The entire spiritual health is, what's going to happen for all eternity. Where is your heart? Where is your freedom? Are you free? Do you know Jesus? Do you have grace? Do you have mercy in your life? Are you filled with love? Are you running towards love and being driven from love? Or are you being driven by fear? Those things are all spiritual aspects of your health. And environmental includes a lot of things, including the sugars and chemicals and everything we just talked about. But also your environmental health includes community, includes the people around you. And this season is such a season of community. We get together for Thanksgiving. People drive and fly all over the nation, in the US at least. I would assume it's the same in Canada, who already had their Thanksgiving. Wait, did you? Did you already have Thanksgiving? I don't remember. Okay, so if you're in Canada, please let me know, because I don't remember. Come to the community and let's talk about Thanksgiving. So anyway, Thanksgiving, people get together. Christmas, people get together. New Year's, people get together. And the vibe is different at all of those things, but they're all a time of community. So it is important that we do not isolate ourselves during this season of community, because isolation is not good for your health. You need whole health. Body, mind, spiritual, diet, environment, like they all come together for your whole health. So that's a little bit about why we, want to eat healthy, but why we're not going to isolate ourselves. So let's talk about what you can do. Number one, let's embrace a crowd out mindset rather than a restrictive mindset. And this is the concept of filling your plate with the good things, or maybe your cup. I have seen an Instagram reel, and they had a glass filled with nasty, nasty water. It was just like black. And they put that cup underneath a faucet and they turned the faucet on. Now, what's going to happen? The cup was already full. Well, the clean water went into the cup and started pushing out some of the bad stuff. And within 10, 20 seconds, the water in the cup was clear. The water in the cup had gone from black to clear because they were putting so much good stuff in. And that's what our goal is during the season. We want to be putting so much good stuff in that the bad stuff naturally gets crowded out. Not because we're restricting, but because we're focusing on making sure that we're getting the good stuff. So if you're looking at, a party or a meal like Thanksgiving with a crowd out mindset rather than a restrictive mindset, you want to look for the nutrient dense foods, the things that are packed with the micronutrients and the macronutrients that you need. If you are prioritizing foods that contain fiber, that contain protein, that contain healthy fats, that contain micronutrients, fruits and vegetables, if you are prioritizing those foods, you're going to feel full earlier and you're not going to have room for as much sweets. If you're going to go out on, Halloween tonight, if you're listening right when this comes out, then, have a healthy meal or snack before you go out. Fill it with protein, fill it with vegetables. Don't add any carbs to your meal pre-Halloween trick-or-treating, because you're going to eat your carbs as you walk. Like, you're still having a balanced, quote, plate. It's just you're eating the good stuff up front and then you're having the carbs later. That is my tip for tonight. You can do however you want. That is what I would recommend as like a crowd out mindset. And, doing the eating order where you're having the fiber, the vegetables, the protein first, so that your body is ready to deal with the sweets in a way that is not as impactful on your blood sugar. Now, your blood sugar, the more roller coasters it has, the more highs and the more lows, that roller coaster can be a trigger for Hashimoto's. Whether it is for you or not, I don't know, but I know it is one of the most common triggers for Hashimoto's, that stress on the body, the highs and lows of blood sugar. And a side note, I got my mind-body GLP-1 system. It arrived yesterday afternoon in the mail, and I started it today. And already I have noticed changes. I typically do not have a good relationship with food. I could tell you about food. And for me, I have to just watch the clock and I have to have a schedule because my brain just does not understand intuitive eating. I don't get hungry. I am either like fine ignoring food or I'm starving. It's like 0 or 100. I don't have the in between. And today I've had the in between. And I told my husband it's so weird because both he and I were a little worried if I would start this mind body GLP system because we both know my tendency to just not eat because I'm at a 0 and then I'll get to 100 and I'll be all shaky and hangry and I just need to eat right now. So we were both a little worried. And then I heard a doctor talk about it and he said some people are getting hungrier with it because your connections and your communication between your brain and your gut are working better. So day one, half of the way through day one, and I have that to report. I feel hungry. Instead of 0 to 100, I have like a 10 and a 20 and a 30. It is so weird. I look forward to hearing your stories about the mind-body GLP-1 system. We do have good discussions about that over in school too. Okay, back to our topic today. So the next tip is to enjoy the treats you truly love and skip the rest. I know that when my kids come home with a bag of candy, like there's some in there that I would love to steal from them. And there are some in there that I'm like, I don't want that at all. And yet on a day where I just want something sweet, I'm just like looking around the house for something sweet, I will take their nasty Tootsie Rolls. I don't like Tootsie Rolls. But, the Butterfingers are gone. I love Butterfingers. Yes, I know that they're not good for me. I know that they have seed oils or whatever in them. But you know what? That's a treat that I enjoy, that I really love. So I'm going to have, a bite-sized Butterfinger and skip the ones that you don't like because is it really worth it? That's what you could ask yourself. Like, the Marie Kondo, does it bring you joy? Some of that candy, it's just there. It does not bring you joy. So enjoy the treats you truly love. Let the food that you eat enhance your life. It's not just about nutrients. It is about joy. And like I already said, it's about community. So when you're eating together with others, it's actually healthier for you. Your body deals with it slightly different, which is a little bit, on the woo side. Like, what, Esther? Do we have data for that? We do. But we don't talk about it very much in the US or in Western medicine because especially in the US, we're very isolationist. I am going to do my thing and I don't need help. Anyway, we could go on a topic than that. Let's not. Let's go to the next step, the next tip, which is to adopt a long-term view on treats instead of just the here and now. One Butterfinger, or maybe for you, it's, a Reese's peanut butter cup or whatever it is. There are healthy alternatives to all of these, but one treat is not going to derail your health. One treat is one treat. Now, if you do one treat at every single meal or snack every single day, that's an entirely different conversation. But we're talking about moderation. We're talking already about crowding out the bad things or the less healthy things. We're not talking about restricting. We're talking about having a healthy, balanced life. And that includes what you eat. So if your long-term view and your plan and your balance of eating is I'm going to eat a lot of vegetables every day, whether that's, a different variety for you or amount. We can look at vegetables in either of those ways. But if that's your goal, then you know that you're going to be eating more and more vegetables throughout the week and month and year, and that's going to have a bigger impact than one little treat every once in a while. And that goes for other things too. If you go for a walk every day, especially if you go for a walk after a meal, it's going to impact your blood sugar. It's going to be healthy. It's going to help your body process what you just ate. And it's going to impact the long-term thing. We are not looking at just this moment in time. We are looking at your life as a whole. So going out on Halloween with your kids, or enjoying Thanksgiving pie, or celebrating Christmas with friends and having a feast, these are not deal breakers. These are parts of a whole and healthy life. You can have a full life. And also recognize that when you have, maybe for you, it's when you have a lot of sugar, then you're going to have a bad day tomorrow. I don't know if your health is like that, but sometimes mine is, especially if I'm close to my period. I know that if I have sugar and I'm close to my period, then that drastically increases the chances that I will have a migraine when my period comes. Sometimes I get the migraine no matter what. I've been working on that with a lot of different things and chiropractor, but I know that sugar is a trigger for me. So if, Halloween falls on the day before my period, do you think I'm going to go trick-or-treating and, steal from my kids' candy bags? Well, maybe yes, maybe no, but I will do that knowing that if I make that choice to have sweets, I am increasing my risk or my chance of having a migraine and what one of my friends calls a bed rot day. She texted me that the other day. She said she had a bed rot day. I was like, oh my goodness, I love that term. I totally know what you mean, because when I'm having a migraine, I have a bed rot day. And so I know that domino effect from the sweet treat, but also from other factors, could lead to a bed rot day, right? So you have to look at what you're doing and make good decisions. And nobody can do that for you. But I do have a way to make this easier for you as far as eating a sweet treat. So let's say you decided, yes, I really want that Butterfinger. And I know that there's other factors going on, and this could cause an autoimmune flare. It could cause a migraine. It could cause more fatigue. It could cause these consequences. And I don't want those, but I do want to enjoy this sweet treat. Well, inside the Holistic Hashimoto's course, which is my full course inside the school community, so I created a lesson on how to eat a forbidden treat. Now, forbidden is in quotes because there's nothing actually forbidden, but I know that mindset, like, okay, I want to enjoy this Butterfinger. So how can I lessen its impact on me? And inside that lesson, I give you 5 different ways to lessen the negative impact of what you're going to eat. That is inside the Holistic Hashimoto's course, and that is inside our school community. The big thing I want you to take away from this episode is that we're going into a season of sweets. We're going into a season of celebration and of togetherness. And I want you to enjoy this season. I want you to be able to, be fully present with those you love, be fully present with all the things that matter to you. And that really is dependent on your health. So what you are eating and drinking and doing is impacting your health. And then your health is impacting how you can show up for these things. It is really a circle. And I am so glad that you are listening to this episode and the other podcast episodes so that you can figure out how to create better holistic health, because you are a whole person. So you can approach the season with balance. You can approach it with confidence. You can make good choices. You are in charge of your health. You are the CEO of your own health, and you can navigate the season of treats and support your health at the same time. You do have that power. You know how to make the decisions. And if you need support and community, we are there for you. School.com, and we are the Health with Hashimoto's community. I look forward to seeing you over there. Come make a post introducing yourself, interact on some of the posts that are already there, jump into the classroom and take some of the courses that are there. This is set out for your success, to empower you to take control and feel like yourself again. I will see you inside the school community, and I'll see you next week again on the Health with Hashimoto's podcast. This podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. Please discuss any concerns and plans with your trusted healthcare professional. If you found this episode helpful, will you please share it with a friend? I'll see you next week on the Health with Hashimoto's podcast.